separating yourself from the issue. And that's why I learned in couples therapy too. Like, this is the problem we having, but I still love you. You ain't the problem, and I'm not the problem.
I like that.
This is the problem. So let's figure out why we having the problem. Let's try to solve the problem, but let us always remember that we're not the problem. So let's keep the peace between us and figure out what the problem is. And when you take it from that perspective, it allows you to not look like, and I did it, and it's still be human. We still do it. Like, man, you getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
You ain't getting up with yourself. You know what I'm saying? I keep telling, and you still, and you get into that, and then now it's like y'all in constant conflict, and y'all just against each other, and it's like, nah, this is the problem. Like, hey, so we having this issue.
Man,
this
I just
is
learned
it.
something today.
And how can we solve it? And then also too, little things like when you having conflict with your woman, only do that for an hour, set a time limit or whatever it may be.
Hey, what's up, family? I just want to hop on here and share some quick reflections as I review my year. From day one of 2023 to now, my year has been super dope. Like, yeah, it's had its ups and downs, its peaks and valleys, right? But the day that I dropped this book right here, I had my book launch July 29, 2023, one of the happiest moments of my life. And then we're going into a season where we're doing a lot of internal work because we can't be outside in the sun living our best life no more. We got to go inside, sit down, and do a lot of internal reflection, do a lot of healing, do a lot of reviewing and relationship building, right? Specifically relationship building with ourselves. And I'm telling y'all, this book right here will get you where you need to go. It's your how-to guide to live your best life as your best self. You want a Stranger Within Volume 1, make sure y'all grab y'all copy. Link will be below. Holla at y'all soon. Peace.
I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, or I could do this.
How does it feel being original?
It feels blessed. It feels great being original. You're original, you're a leader. People have to come behind you and follow you. So it's always good being the first one to do something. So original people, deuces.
Peace, family. Welcome to another edition of the Lead Your Lineage podcast.
Yo!
Our number one podcast for individuals
seeking
to end generational dysfunction.
You know
What's
it.
good, cuz?
Nothing much. I'm feeling good. I'm in the groove. How you feeling, cuz?
I'm feeling amazing.
Yeah, man.
Another phenomenal person to interview.
Another one.
A dope human being, a dope husband, a dope mentor, a dope finance professional, getting into this space and really changing lives already. But I'm gonna let y'all hear his story from himself. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this thing, y'all. I want to introduce Brother Thomas Coleman.
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you
y'all.
already
So
know.
thank y'all for having me.
Yep, ain't no problem.
Yeah. So like Sean was saying, man, I'm in finance, right? I work as a financial representative. So what I do is I mainly just help people achieve their financial goals, man. It's a lot of decisions to be made in terms of finance, right? And so just understanding how to navigate that world. I kind of liken it to going cross country in a car ride, right? You driving across country to your financial goals. It's the destination. Just act as the GPS system, help guide you along the way, make sure you be able to avoid some of those pitfalls and things that we just aren't taught. And so I want to do that because I come from a family where that it wasn't taught. Nothing was in the household in terms of finance. We ain't had no game plan, nothing like that, man. So we can get into some of that later too. But I was just blessed to be here, man. Pleasure to have me here. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. How long have you been in the financial service?
Man, so I was a former teacher actually.
Okay.
For a
How long
couple
was you
years.
teaching?
I taught over at Crescent for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was a blessing for me.
What was you teaching? Something in finance?
Oh, nah, nothing at all. Health and education, PE.
Okay. Yeah.
No, sir. So before that, I was an athletic trainer. I worked in sports medicine, just helping athletes get back on the field. So I got into finance, was selected by my company back in June of this year.
Okay.
What made you make that shift from sports and education into finance? I know you touched on it in your intro, but what really was like that last straw? I was like, okay, I need to make this move, and let's make this move now.
Yeah, so I kind of always been the type of person where no matter what I've done throughout my life, I always wanted to be of service, right?
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than me. I'm the youngest of all my siblings, only one to go to college, let alone get graduate degrees. And so for me, I always think about my life like, I gotta keep pushing the envelope. I gotta keep trying to do things because I'm the one, even though I'm the youngest, like, I'm the leader of my family.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of people counting on me, and I don't take that lightly. And that's not to brag. That's to say I know the responsibility of it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I understand that God has blessed me, and so I gotta keep using the blessing and keep going ahead. So to get into finance while I transitioned was because I always thought about my purpose, and I'm constantly thinking about it and how impactful am I being.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like being in the system, the public education system, I was being restrained from being as impactful as I felt I possibly could be.
Agreed.
You know, on certain levels, like, you know, you try to give some kids some game, but they looking at you like, man, you the gym teacher, bro. Roll out that basketball to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and some of it when you're teaching it, just in life, it's like, you know, you can give some people some game, but you don't know, you planting them seeds, they may not grow until years down the road. And so, so that was one reason. The second reason is just because freedom, right? Like, freedom of time. Like, I'm fighting for that. And so I wanted to be more entrepreneurial with my time so I could have that freedom, because I remember showing up to work and being like, man, I don't like the way this is going for me no more. I don't want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
I don't like this lifestyle. Like, I want to have freedom. I don't want to have somebody tell me what to do every day, because I know I'm putting in work and I know I'm going above and beyond, but it's a limit to what that feels like in terms of compensation, you know? And so that's what made me want to get into this.
I love that. Go ahead.
Yeah. And we always on here talk about ending generational dysfunction.
Yeah.
And it's we always talk about finance, and that's one of a big common dysfunction. When we go out and ask in the public what's the common dysfunction in their family, finance is always come or broke. So do you have any tips for somebody that's watching this right now? Like, how can they start helping their family as a family, not even just as yourself? How can they go is it a way we can go financially forward as a family?
Yeah, so it starts with keeping it simple, right? Having the basics down, right? We don't get taught the basics. I use my driving analogy of going cross country. Like, yeah, we act as a GPS system in terms of finance, helping guide clients to their goals. But honestly, the people, we're not taught how to drive, right? And what I mean by that is we're not taught basic principles of finance, how to grow wealth in this country. And so for us, in terms of what it looks like in tips, is to learn the basics, like learn how to just save your money. I mean, with so many people and they're not saving their money. And it's a decision-making process, but how can you make a good decision if you don't have the right information? And so equipping yourself with that, but that's difficult when, you know, the landscape in terms of you can go on the internet, there's a lot of information, but what's the right information, right? How do you develop a plan when it's just, you got puzzle pieces all over and you're trying to put it all together, but it's not as simple as, you know, I'm just gonna put this together real quick because it's stress involved. You got bills due, you got, you know, wife on your back, you got kids, you got all these things going on mentally. So how can you think clear and come up with a plan, right? So people, they live and they get their paycheck, they go earn an income, go to work, earn an income, and then from there, they spend their money. And however they decide to spend their money determines their financial world, right? Determines how, really the character of their life and the arc of it in terms of their finances. And so learn how to save money, because if you don't save money, I mean, there is no investments to make because you don't have the money. You don't have any debt that you can pay down because you don't have the money. So you're stuck living check to check. in that perpetual cycle. And so to break that, we have to address our habits, it's behavior, and that takes time. It's a process, and so that's why I give people financial advice, because that's what I do. I empower them with information. I'm not gonna sit with somebody and talk to them about these deep, in-depth investments and you know the stocks, and we can get to that. But right now, we need to just understand what are the basics. What's your budget? Are you following it? What's influencing your behavior? What are your goals financially? Do you know them? What does that look like? What are the things that keep you up at night about your finances? What does that look like? How can we help support you? And then from there, we build a plan that's personalized for them. But saving money and protecting it is the two main things that we typically miss. And when I'm talking about protection, I mean insurance, life insurance, then disability insurance, right? A lot of people know about life insurance. You get money, you die. There's living benefits, but we won't get into that. But with disability insurance, I mean, it's harder because it can be difficult when you're disabled to then live through that disability, because that's costly to the family. You got hospital bills, all these different expenses. You can't work and make an income. You may be the breadwinner in your family, and you go from being the breadwinner to having some type of disability, whatever that looks like. And now there's no income. Now, wife, you gotta go out and work and try to make it happen. And then somebody gotta take care of you. That's expenses. And so that's a detrimental cycle that we try to get people to understand as well, the importance of protecting your not only your own best asset, which is your income. That's your greatest asset, because that's the only way you can save, it's the only way you can invest, take care of your family, all those things. Oh, very long answer to answer your question.
No.
Oh, it's your show, bro.
It's your show.
It's your show,
For
bro.
real, man. For real.
I hope that made sense.
No,
bro. Absolutely.
it does. It makes a lot of sense, because like you said, if you don't have no money to save, you don't have no money to protect. So save is like the number one. We never save our money. We always spend. We go spend on unnecessaries. We go buy I see a lot of us going out to eat. I like to cook. You know, so it's a lot of little habits that we have on spending unnecessary that we can nip in the bud. But let me ask you this: as a family, man, growing up in your family, you said you didn't see anyone having any form of information on finance. So I'm taking it as you didn't have any no one who owned a business or anything in your family or anything like that?
Nah, man. So it's a little background. I didn't know my father until I was 14.
Okay.
My mother, by the time, I'm the youngest, by the time she was 22, she had all four of us. And she just, but before her, man, there's 4 generations. So my sister, my mom, my grandma, my great-grandma, they were all single mothers. They weren't really raised by their mother. And there was no financial game plan or professional guidance in the house. So this is back to my great-great-grandmother was born in 1900, right?
You got to meet her?
Yeah, she was 96, so I was born in 94, so I was a baby, but she held me, you know, so I got to meet her.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
But yeah, so there's been a lot of generational trauma that was passed down between all of that, just not being raised properly. None of them knew their fathers as well. And finance, man, money it was a stress. It was trauma with it, but it wasn't nobody around had it. So it was just like, you just doing whatever to survive. And for my mom, that was being with men she shouldn't be with, you know, not really taking care of us, doing the best she could with what she knew and what she had. But I mean, it was times where, we was in a room, we lived in a room smaller than this, and it's all 4 of us, we sleeping on bean bags on the floor. And I grew up in Boston, so I was about 8. And so it's rats and roaches, you know, like New York, they rats, they long, they like cats, little cats, they be jumping around. And so we had that going on. We had there was no food. My best meal was, oatmeal. The oatmeal with the little dinosaurs in
Yeah.
it, the little egg, y'all remember
Yeah.
that? Man, that used to be gourmet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Real.
my mom didn't cook, she wasn't there because she was either out working or she was out bingo or she was out prostituting, bro. Like,
Yeah.
she was doing what, I don't judge her for that because she was doing what she knew at the time. Now, mind you, she's in her early 20s with 4 kids. And so, then she would have these boyfriends that would beat on her, that would beat on us. We young, we can't do nothing about it. And so that went on until I was about 7 or 8. And finally my grandma came out there for a visit and she saw how bad it was because by then my sibling, you know, we kids, we being left in the house till 4 a.m. by ourselves. So we going outside, you know, like we gonna go outside, have fun. And, but my sister, the oldest, she was about 9 or 10 at the time, maybe 10 or 10, yeah, 10 or 11, and but she was mature for her age, you know, developmentally and physically as well, and so men started to prey on her, and it was a couple situations that she was getting into, and she's the only girl. I have 2 brothers that are a year older than me, they twins, and so we would try to protect her, but we were so young, stuff we couldn't do, right? Man, we would run away from the house. We would do all types of stuff. We would get in trouble, man. We was bad, bro. Like, but it was a blessing to be together because we were siblings, and like, so everything we did, we got equal punishment. Cause we were like, and really, I got off because I was the baby. By the time my mom was done beating up, she ain't had no more energy for me, bro. I'm like, go ahead, hit me a little bit. I'm crying too. Like I'm seeing them get hit. I'm doing all that, bro. So she ain't want to really do it, you know. By the time we got to me, but yeah, man, it wasn't no money. It wasn't no food, bro. We was just surviving, really.
Yeah, I know how that is.
That's all it was,
yeah. And out of that, man, I'm gonna ask you this, man. Being, cause I once was talking about that, cause I've been in that situation, being too young to not be able to help the women in our family. How did you think that affected you? Have you ever sit there and thought about? Let me share my story real quick. I realized that it made me more overprotective. I didn't realize this until about like this year or the beginning or the end of last year. I started realizing like, wow, that made me overprotective. Have you ever sat and ever thought how that affected you?
You know, to name the feeling.
Are you overprotective?
Nah, I think I do have like maybe like a control freak nature about me because when you operating in basic chaos, right? And you can't control it, it's a lot of frustration. It's like, man, ain't nothing I can do about this. I gotta listen to my mom get beaten. I'm just, what can I do? It's a grown man, you know? And so, I hate that feeling to this day. I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling of it's hard. That's my biggest challenge, one of them at least, is because it's like, how do I deal with wanting to control everything when I can't control nothing much? Like, you know, it's only certain things, you know, that can play with your emotions and mind. And so I'll say that, and just now I try to tell people to do things and lead them the right way, but it's hard when I see them repeating the same patterns and just dealing with that frustration. I mean, to this day, my mom we still have some sort of relationship, but it's not like how I guess a mother-son related, how it would be if we was raised in the house together and that type of thing. So I can't put a name to it, but it's affected me probably more ways than I know. To be honest with you,
Yeah, because I had to sit back and think about that, man. And really, I didn't notice that until last year, man. And they don't know this, but can you speak on your marriage real quick? Because after you speak on your marriage real quick, so I want to ask you, can you answer this too? That having that effect with your mother, how did that affect you with women out when you first got growing up? Did it have you trust this? I'll be back. You can answer that question.
Okay. Yeah. For sure it did. So I've been married to my wife. We just celebrated our first year, November 26th, man. So,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you for that, man.
You said, hold on, when?
November 26th, that was a couple
Okay,
days ago.
okay.
Man.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I'm like, oh,
that's a couple days ago,
dang.
So I've known her since high school, though. We've been great friends. We didn't date since high school, but I've known her since high school. You know, I started to go on the journey and stuff, but comes from a great family, a loving family, and she's just a great person and my best friend, man. So just it's been the biggest blessing in my life. Couldn't ask for anything more from that perspective. In terms of how that's affected me with women, though, it took I didn't really understand how to approach girls.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know how to properly respect them in the way. Like I love my sister and she was a friend to me, but in terms of like being in a relationship with a girl or a woman, I didn't understand that, man. I was like I looked at them like physical, like meat. That kind of sounds terrible. Not like that sounds terrible.
We've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there.
Yeah. I've been the same way.
Same here,
man. I would just be. That's all it was. It was just like sexual connection, but it wasn't even that. It was just like, oh, this is something I'm doing, but I'm not ever offering my heart for love. I'm not trying to love you. Like that was my whole thing, especially in college. Like, man, I ain't trying to love you. You just here, you know, like it is what it is. Like, and I saw how that would affect other girls. I saw how that would affect them, like, because they would really like me, and because I'd be cool with them. I'm not I'm not gonna be rude to you, but I don't want nothing to do with you beyond this. Like, this is all this is for me. And I saw, as you live, you start to see the effects of that, and all the people you hurt along the way, and so that took a lot of maturing for me to overcome that, and it's still a process for me, you know, like learning how to be intimate with my wife. Like I didn't understand the word intimacy. What does that mean? What you mean you just want to be touched, but you don't want to do nothing beyond that? Like, what? You just want to cuddle? What is that? Like, okay, and then what? You know, or understanding just the softer side of myself and my emotions. I don't really understand my emotions because I would cut them off at a young age because everything was going on. Like, man, it's too much to process. When you just think logically, how do I get out of this situation? How do I make sure my family is never in this situation again? And so the emotional side of it, I mean, I'm still learning that part. Yeah.
I can relate to that wholeheartedly.
Man, it had me thinking.
Ah, man.
Had me thinking.
Kobe and that's been my biggest thing too, like intimacy, like really figuring out what that looks like. But I had both of my parents in the house, married and whatnot, but it was very like robotic. You know what I mean?
My fault, man.
We say this every episode. It be your own people. It be your own people.
Cause I know him.
Right. So, I know y'all mean nothing harmful with that, man. So it was just like they weren't very intimate. You know what I mean? Like come in, little peck on the lips, and they go on about their business. Like whoever turn was it cook, they cooking, wash dishes, they go sit down, watch TV, go to sleep. That was damn near every day of my life. So it was like I didn't know to ask that question, what that looked like for them or what was it in general. I had no idea. And then here comes Kobe coming into my life. My whole life has changed. Since you came in and all that good stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is a whole new different level of manhood, humanhood. I have to unlock. Like it's in me. She showed like, hey, do this, okay, this is cool. I don't know about that, but just like, okay, I like doing that now. So I get that hard. And that's something I'm still learning too.
Yeah, for real, man. Love, man.
You know, that kind of, when you were saying that too, in a weird way, like my wife is like my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like she's the support that I wanted when I was a kid. She's that for me now. Like she'll tell me right from wrong now. Like you know what I'm talking about. Your girl, she like all those things, and it makes you better. Like you're saying, like because that's another side of yourself that allows you to grow and you want to be better for it. And it's like, man, I look back now. It's like, man, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without my wife because I wouldn't have been focused enough. I wouldn't have been disciplined enough to think like this or act like this. You know, because you got to be mature to manage all the things that come in terms of being an entrepreneur, but also just being a black man, being a man.
Marriage, I feel like, should just marriage, because I feel like I'm in the same boat as you. Yeah. If it wasn't for my wife, bro, I'd be gone. I already know I'd be dead locked up for a fact, man. And my wife, she changed me, you know, just like each one of us. It took the right woman to change us, bro. Because each one of us been through, you know, women, you know, not through like that. I ain't mean to say it like that, but you know, been like, you know, have, you know, been with different women. It took the right woman to change us. So I feel like, you know, that's very important in a man's life, is to get the right woman. And another thing is, man, do you have any kids?
No kids right now.
Kids?
No kids, no pets, man.
No kids, no pets. I like that. I like that. Man. Hey, that's the golden age, man. Bro. I got 3 of them joints. That's the golden age. Every time one of the kids cry, we be looking like, man, you remember when you had kids? Yeah. That was the golden age. We be reminiscing, but now, I love y'all. I love all 3 of y'all. I was just playing. Daddy was just playing, baby. Cause they watch this. Anyway. anyway, man. But yeah, man. So having my wife there gave me that understanding of love, man. But when I had my daughter, it made me understand external love. Like start really paying attention to the world. My wife made me understand who I was. She made me understand, hey, you are more than Teron Shumper. You are this being. You're not just this thug hooligan. You are a powerful guy. She helped me guide. She didn't do that for me. She led me to the right direction. I had to do all that myself, you know. But however, when I had my daughter, bro, that made me have external love. That made me start caring for everybody, bro. I'm talking about for you and your kid, because I start realizing, bro, my kid got to deal with your kid. My kid got to deal with this person, kid. Man, we got to change the goddamn world, because I got a daughter now. So, hey, look, everything, stop the order. And I always, hey, everything stop. We got to go right. No more wars. You feel me? Everything, no more killing this. Hey, I wanted the whole world to stop. I wanted the world to come to conclusion that peace was supposed to be for everybody, every inch of this globe. But nah, man, I just think women bring that. Because my son brought a lot too, but I'm just saying what I feel like women in our life bring us. And if I ever have a daughter, I don't feel like that.
I pray to have a daughter, man.
No,
no, I was just gonna say, like, you talking about us, like, balance, you know, it's, I feel like that's what it is, like, you need that to grow. It's the other side of you, it balances you out, like, that's perfect.
You ain't in the game.
Yep.
Gotta have the one before, because in ancient ways, I'm very cultural person. I'm always talking about how we used to run things. And in the ancient ways, when everybody always talk about the king, the pharaoh, or however they want to say who was in power at the time, what a lot of people don't know is he had to have permission of his wife, of the queen, and they had to had to come to an agreement in order to move things forward. They couldn't go just one way or the other way. They had to come to a conclusion to get the thing forward. Yeah, man, for real.
And that's lovely. I'm glad you said that. Move things forward, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to your family's generational dysfunction, what are you doing outside of being married and the things you share? What is something that you're doing to move the needle forward to make sure when you do have children that they don't go through the same thing that you went through?
Yeah, that's good.
We cousins.
Yeah,
We
I
related.
was just about to ask that.
No, yeah. So I would say, for me, it's like I said earlier, just believing in myself, continue to push the envelope, try to analyze what were the areas that went wrong in our family.
Yeah.
Like what messed things up. Like I grew up, like I said, my grandma's raised me. After when I turned 7, she came and got it. So I grew with my grandma and my great grandma.
So no male.
No males, nah, I ain't. I had a step grandpa, but he wasn't living with it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would ask them questions like, yo, what was going on back in the day that, you know, why grandma ain't raised you, and why her mama ain't raised her, and just try to find out what was the family dynamics, like where did we go wrong in this? Why weren't there no men around? Like, how did this happen, you know? And then to change that, right? Like, a lot of it is communication. So like a lot of our family is just disjointed because we don't have the men around. They go off and have, you know, different families, do whatever, and you just left with the women and their children. But they go and do whatever because back then it's just what it was. It wasn't like everybody just stayed together. It was just y'all kind of go wherever. You know, we from Mississippi, then we up here. It was just all over the place. And so trying to keep them the communication alive in my family, like just reaching out to people, staying connected to my nieces and nephews, and being present in their life for whatever it is that they need because they're getting older, and trying to heal things with my mom. You know, I talk to my siblings a lot too because it's like when you go through something like that together, it's like only y'all that know. Only, you know,
only y'all can.
Only so we relate a lot in that regard. Our brothers, my twin brothers, their dad, they knew their father, so from birth. But my sister and I didn't. So when my grandma came and got us, she could only get my sister and I because my brother's dad wanted to keep them, so he kept them in the small city outside of Boston. And me and my sister grew up in Fort Wayne, and so that was a dynamic in itself because I went from like we always like, and I'm the youngest, so all I know is all my siblings, you know, growing up, we was living together. To now it's just me and my sister, and I don't got my brothers, and like we don't like 8. I'm like, what's going on? So trying to keep the family together, having them open lines of communication, like, and having these types of conversations. Like when I call my brothers, like this is what that we talk about. Like, man, what you doing, bro? Like, what's going on with you? How you like elevating? You know, I'm proud of you, man, for where you at because I know where we came from and how it was. So, man, I just, you know, we encourage each other a lot. You know, or hey, bro, I don't really think that's a good move, and I got to be the one to say that to you because I'm your brother. You know, and I'm the youngest, but like I said, like I'm the leader in that regard in my family, and so they respect my opinion because they know like I'm not judging you. I care about you, and I want our family to move forward because y'all know how we came up and the things that happened. So I'm proud of my brothers, my sister, they're all parents. One of my brothers is married. They all take care of their kids, and so it's a blessing in that regard. Yeah. But then in terms of what I'm personally, you know, therapy, man, it's huge. I go to therapy, I go to couples therapy.
Man, how long you been doing therapy?
I started, and that's my wife, man. She like, you need to go to therapy because my wife, her whole life, she, you know, your problem is your problem, right? You can't. But like, she grew up with both her parents, knew her mom and dad. You know, her dad was in the Navy, good career. Her mom took care of them and was a great mom, loving mom, beautiful, sweet lady. So when I be telling her how I came up, she's like,
what
oh my God, you gotta go to therapy because this ain't, I know it's some stuff in there that's, you know.
That's why I asked how it affects you with women.
Yeah. No, it's so I took heed of that. And so I started going in back in January, man. On the personal side, but then on the couple side, a little bit before we got married too. We started going to premarital counseling, and then we just stuck with it. We go once a month to couple therapy, and not because it's like something bad or something wrong going on, but because I don't know what it's like to be married 40 years and happy. You know, I don't know what it's like to understand how do I be intimate with my wife and she's trying to explain that she needs it and I'm like, I don't know how to give it to you. I don't know how the words for that. So just that professional help and guidance and all the different decisions and conversations, because when you living with a woman, you gotta live with her. There ain't no getting around it.
You live with a woman, bro. You live with...
And she wanna know, my wife, she's the communicator.
Powerful beings.
Yeah.
They powerful
And they not just sitting on, oh, we got issues.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
When, right now.
Yeah.
We need to, I'm not gonna keep feeling hurt, you know, and I can't keep walking around letting you be hurt if I care about you. So, yeah, man, I hope that answered your question.
No,
You answered it.
Yeah,
And maybe think about some other stuff.
yeah.
Bro, that was beautiful, bro.
A lot of
Thank
people
you.
be scared to do therapy, and then just to announce it, you know, for real, just like, cause you don't know how many people gonna see this. So, man, I appreciate that for real. And what you say out of 1 to 10, how would you rate that? How much benefit would it have helped? And do you mind sharing some things sharing some different aspects or some different things you learned from therapy with couples and your personal, if you don't mind?
Yeah, man. I'll definitely share. So I spent 10 out of 10, man. 10 out of 10, to be honest, because there's so many different things that you learn about.
No, man.
I was gonna try not to laugh. Man. I swear.
We not answering that out.
No, we not, man. This damn thing.
Hey, I was gonna get it so serious. I'm like, dang, I can't understand it.
No, we good.
What I say? Yeah, so no, therapy, man, it's 10 out of 10. So a lot of the things, the way therapy works, because I thought initially I would come in, tell them all my problems, just drop them on the floor, and then they gonna talk about it, we fix it.
Yeah.
But that's not really how it works. It's more of like, just like this, really. It's a conversation, and it's like, oh, okay, so that's how you grew up. How that make you feel, right? And we just have that dynamic, to where, and my therapist, he's a black man. He's about 46, 47, married, 3 kids, and so he's been through, you know, to where he can relate, and we have a lot of those conversations, and so we have a lot in common, but it just allows me to have a conversation and see things from a different perspective. Like it's my thoughts, but the therapist allows you to kind of put them in the middle of the room and see them from a different angle, and then they just help you solve the problem, but it's your problem. It's a problem, I should say. It's not your problem, because problems are problems, and that's a big thing too, just separating yourself from the issue. And that's why I learned in couples therapy too, like, this is the problem we having, but I still love you. You ain't the problem, and I'm not the problem.
I like that.
This is the problem. So let's figure out why we having the problem. Let's try to solve the problem, but let us always remember that we're not the problem. So let's keep the peace between us and figure out what the problem is. And when you take it from that perspective, it allows you to not look like, and I did it, and it's still be human. We still do it. Like, man, you getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
You ain't getting on my good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I keep telling, and you still,
Yeah.
and you get into that, and then now it's like y'all in constant conflict, and y'all just against each other, and it's like, nah, this is the problem. Like, hey, so we having this issue.
Man,
This
I
is
just learned
it.
something today.
And how can we solve it? And then also too, little things like when you having conflict with your woman, only do that for an hour, set a timer or whatever it may be. If you're having a conversation, set a timer, no longer than an hour though, whatever it is. When the hour's up, let's go. Cause probably about an hour, we ain't got to no resolution. We not coming to one. We just gonna keep butting heads, and so that's gonna create more problems. Cause now we just saying whatever. You say the wrong thing, you in the doghouse now, bro. Oh, it's bad.
Over.
I be sick when I be
Man, me too, man. I blame nobody that I say that. You know, it seems like we always be the first ones that be trying to give him a little quick kiss, like, hey, look, let me get a kiss.
She ain't trying to have none of that.
It's like,
I'm like, you just say that to me? Nah, get out my face.
Yeah,
Man.
I had to learn. My wife, and that happened so long ago that sometimes I forget. But she has been a big she's been like one of the biggest impacts of me learning how to talk to people and get a message through without being so aggressively and without hurting people's feelings. Man, because I had to learn how to talk to my wife. You know, and I had to learn how to talk to her when I was angered. That right there I can go up to police officers now and talk to them. I always could talk to everybody. I always been that outgoing spoken person, but it helped me be uncomfortable, even more uncomfortable, you know? So when it's time to go, or help me be uncomfortable even when I'm upset, I feel like that's what helped me most. Like, if I'm upset, don't make the wrong decision. It helped me slow down everything. Like, watch what you say, because you could say the wrong damn thing. If you say the wrong damn thing because you're feeling some type of way, who knows the outcome? So my wife, boy, she helped me with that, because I shared, I keep it 100 on here. You know, again, I'll be quick. You know, I didn't, like you just said, man, I grew up in that situation. I didn't know I never saw a father and nobody loved my mama. I never saw no man love my mama. So it was a lot of things I had to learn. I had to learn how to not to call my wife by her name. I had to learn how not to call her a hoe. Now I learned to call her a bitch. Now, you know what I mean? Shit, that's what the fuck I know. You know what I mean? I grew up on the streets, bro. We call these hoes hoes. We call these bitches bitches. You know what I mean? For real, bro. This is my mindset at the time, though, you know? So I'm like, man, shut the fuck up, hoe, bitch, that. So I'm a big advocate on that, man. Now, knowing what you saying, bro, just because you mad, you ain't gotta throw shade on somebody. So, when you said that right there, saying that, hey, this is the problem, and that we not the problem, we look.
I can't take no credit, man. That's therapy, man.
Man, bro, shit, it don't matter, bro. Hey, they didn't hear it from therapy. Yeah, I didn't hear it from therapy. We heard it from you.
Well, you know, just to echo what you're saying, somebody, this was just a conversation with friends, and speaking, someone, a female friend, she had been married, kind of going through something, and she said, always speak to the queen in her, you know. Always try to speak life into your partner, because they need that. And that's really what it should be. That's what we should aim for. It's not easy all the time, because, like you said, bro, like, well, I didn't see that. I didn't see that growing up. I never seen a man love a woman. I don't know what that looked like, to be honest. I never seen it. So to speak to your wife and try to constantly uplift them and speak to who you see them for what they are and not for what you feeling in that moment. You know, like that's huge, because, and I'm sure with your kids as well, like they might do some stuff like kids been doing on your stepping on your nerves.
Oh my God,
you know
see, I homeschool my kids, bro. When
man,
I say,
that's
bro,
all day.
I've been learning, bro, I feel like, man, can't nothing get on my nerves no more. I feel so calm on the inside, because it's like, man.
And shout out to Cuz too, bro, for the children getting your flowers. That's what I'm gonna do when I have children.
It's getting harder and harder. I think it's getting so hard. I think it's no, you ain't, cuz. Nah, little cousin, forget that, because my little cousin's gonna see this. I ain't neglecting y'all. I love y'all. But nah, though, man. That so you hit it right on there. That nerves, man. Since I homeschool, this is a quick homeschool tip for y'all, man. Homeschooling, you have to get your nerves together. I feel like it's even harder than marriage, bro. Because marriage, a woman is an adult at the end of the day, and she signed this agreement, and she got to put on her big girl panties and act like a wife if she wants this thing to work. A kid ain't got no big girl panties. They got kid panties. You know what I mean? They got kid drawers. You know, so it's like, damn, they can't be that adult in the situation. You gotta still be the adult. you gotta try to teach this little kid something that they have no clue about. So they have no manners in this subject. They have no thought of this subject. They really don't want to learn. They want to play all day. You daddy, we have fun. Why are we sitting here learning? You know, so it's all this going in their head, bro. And you trying to teach them. So man, bro, I mean, hey, today I was going off in my head, but I wasn't going off. I was like, yeah, but well, look, we gotta go over this. You remember? Because we just went over this 10 times. It's all right. I understand you don't get it. So let's break it down more. Is Daddy not explaining it to you more? Do Daddy need to go back and readjust his teaching? That's what I start asking. Where you gotta start asking them to help you self-reflect. Cause sometimes you might be missing something when you self-reflecting. So I get to asking her, like, is it something that I ain't doing? hey, for real,
Tell
man.
me.
Tell me. But yeah, man. So I'm definitely there, man. That's where I'm at. Point in my life, man. It's tough. It's tough, man. So I got another thing for you. We always talk about. I know. We touched on finance, but like, what you think your biggest dysfunction you had to fight through, going through all the traumas, you know, with your mom, with the transition of losing your brothers, with transition of coming here. From Boston, from Boston to here, what you think was your biggest dysfunction you have achieved now that you can say, I'm glad I'm no longer like that?
Yeah, that was tough for me because even coming from like knowing Boston, so all I knew to Fort Wayne, I ain't know nothing about no Fort Wayne. Bro. I was just there, new world, no brother. Yeah, so all that was different. So for me, the most difficult part of it was just trying to manage my own sanity, bro. Like I'm still a kid going through all this.
Yeah.
I don't understand half of what's going on or why it's happening. I'm just in it. Like, all right, this all I know. I don't got no other choice, right? You don't get to pick how things turn out for you when you're young. But so trying to navigate all that and still be whole. And I have to give a lot of credit to my grandmothers, man. They saved my life in a lot of ways because when I came over, when they came and got us, and just being with them, it was just a whole different world. Like just the love they poured into us, the sacrifices they made. Like they older people, they ain't had to come get us. They could have left us there. They life, you know, my grandma was in her 50s when she took me in at 7, so that's like restarting, you know, like she could be chilling, ready for retirement, doing whatever, enjoying her life, you know, she raised her kids or whatever. But so to do that, my great grandma being there for me and just giving up game to me, man, they really blessed me in a lot of ways. So I always wanted to do right by them, be the best that I could, because I feel like they gave me a second opportunity in life. And so navigating that and understanding the sacrifices that they made and all the different, learning not to hate my mom, not to hate my dad, because I'm like, dang, bro, where you at? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I could have. Hey, my brother's going to their dad. Where you at, bro?
Where you at?
He was out in the street. He was alcoholic until he was about 42. He was alcoholic, man, in the street selling drugs, poking for, like, you know, doing whatever. He was in it just, and so I have a brother. My dad and my mom was never together. They was never together. They got together on Valentine's Day weekend. Had a little hotel room situation, and that was that. That's why I'm born in November. My birthday was a couple days ago, so that's literally it.
So happy anniversary and birthday.
Yeah,
you
I
did the
can't
same
forget
thing.
it. Can't forget
Oh
it.
my God, ain't that what I said? So
Can't forget it.
when your birthday, the 16th?
27.
Oh,
so
see.
26 is anniversary, 27 my birthday.
So you see, I did that. See, I got married on the 16th. I mean, my birthday on July 16th. I got married on the 26th.
Oh man, yeah, can't forget. My mom's sister's birthday, July 18th.
Yeah, sure.
Cancer. But yeah, so just navigating all of that, man, and trying to, like, my dad and my mom were together. Crazy story how I 14, and she showed him a picture, and I looked just like him, so he knew, but he still gave her the right number and did the paternity test, and he been in my life since then. To his credit, because he had got sober after that, and he wouldn't have been no use to me during that time anyway. He was alcoholic, he was in the street. I have a brother on my dad's side and a sister, and my brother was in the streets because my dad wasn't there taking care of him, and his mom was on drugs doing whatever, and so he struggled a lot. Like, he grew up in the streets, and he was in and out of jail since a kid, and he turned his life around, but he was he beat a murder case. And he ain't, just leave it at that. But now he's doing better though. You know, I'm very proud of him, but just not having those things growing up, not having them people, so dealing with how you don't have your parents, but I'm going to school and everybody got, they got mom. To my mind, everybody got a mom and dad. I got 2 grandmas. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different dynamics trying to navigate all that, man. And trying to keep your head on straight, trying to be sane, trying to live life, and you don't got the answers. And just that in of itself, wiggling through that to get here, man, it's just God. It's all a blessing, man.
Well, how's your relationship with your father now?
It's great. It's great. I forgave him. I never was. I was upset. But looking back, I understand now. Like I said, he wouldn't have been no use to me. He was going through what he was going through. That was his choice, though. It was his choice to do that because he grew up with good parents. My grandfather and grandmother. My grandfather's on my dad's side, one of the best man I've ever met in my life. And my dad, we good now. He called me all the time. We talk for hours, and we good friends, real good. I go see him in Boston, and it's great. It's a great relationship.
I'm glad you forgave him, because a lot of people don't forgive people, and I feel like that's what they need to do.
Yeah, and my dad, he the type of dude. You would think he coming back. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not in his nature, man. It's like he was like, if you gonna be in my life, I'm gonna do everything that I can for you, be a father to you, if you allow me. But if not, that's on you.
Shit, I ain't about to be tripping.
Trust me, he wouldn't have been tripping at all. That's not how he rolls. So, but I understood it because I'm the same way. Like, we very strong-willed people, stubborn in some regard, and so, all right. I was like, I want you to be a dad. All I want is, I never had a dad.
Yeah.
And when you don't have a dad, it's like you making all these little stories up in your head and da. Then it's like, I don't need them. I ain't have them. But when you have it, so many questions got answered for me. Like, just, wow, this is why I knew this way. Or he do that. Oh, I do that. It's little things like his favorite color black, my favorite color black. He like a lot of pepper on his food. I like a lot of pepper on my food. Like, this stuff that we've been living like that, but I never knew why. I was like, and all types of different little nuances and emotions, and I'm a real stickler about certain things, and he's real OCD about certain things.
That's crazy. That's wild.
It was interesting, man. And then meeting his whole side of the family, because all I'm seeing is my mom's side, and there's a lot of dysfunction there. My dad's side was a lot more, y'all got some successful people in my, okay, like maybe this is why I think this way. I always wonder why I'm different, thinking, and because me and my siblings all got different fathers.
Yeah. And
so it answered a lot of questions for me.
Man, thank you for sharing that. So I want to pivot the conversation into family and pivot that into finances, but also tie it into family as well. So how are you setting up your family financially for the now and the future with your financial background?
So everything that I recommend to people, I do myself.
Say that again. Say that.
Everything I recommend to people, everything I recommend, I do myself. So I practice what I preach. I mean, by that I mean I own millions of dollars of life insurance. Because I believe on the day when I got married, I shook my wife's father's hand, and I told him, he said, take care of my daughter. I said, I got you. I meant that. So for me, if something happened to me, we got a house. I don't want my wife to have to go out and something happened to me. She gotta worry about how she gonna pay for the bills and everything in the house and all that. And she already done lost me. That's the worst day of her life. She done lost me, and now she gotta worry about all this on top of that. So, nah, you know, if something happened to me, you good, you real good, you know. And that's good for me. I feel good about that. I have peace about that. And I would want her to do whatever she will with that money. And if she want to remarry somebody, praise God, do that too, because I want you to live your life. I want you to be happy. But then same with the disability insurance, like making sure if something happened to me, I'm disabled, we taken care of. It's guaranteed income. Nothing's gonna change financially for us, but obviously the disability part, we can't do nothing about that. That's just life. You know, things happen. It's unexpected. And then the rest of it is protection and then management of money. So that's what it boils down to. So like understanding we have a budget every month. These are the things we do within the budget. This is the amount of money we set aside to save. These are the investments we're planning to make. Just being real strategic about how we use our money. Making sure I'm not just doing it on my, because I can do it alone, but I need to bring my wife to the conversation, and at least she understands from the big picture of why we're doing this and understanding the different reasons for it, because it may be things that we need to be on the same page about it anyways. And then too, like we have children and things like that, like I want her to be able to explain to them, like this is, I call it like I'm the CEO, I make a lot of the decisions, but she's the like chief operating officer. Like she runs everything goes through her. I don't make one decision without her. We on the same page, we the same team, we working we're moving in the same direction. And so that's what align that with everything. Money, spirituality, everything, fit, health, all of that. You know, trying to be in the same, going the same direction with everything. And so, because that's what I see, like when you look at these families that have been successful in terms of financially, the Rockefellers, how they set up their wealth. And it's one thing to build wealth. That's what we get caught up on. Like, oh, put your money in this $100 a month, in 30 years you have $1 million some dollars. And then I say, well then what? Then nobody tell you what to do with it then. What are you gonna do with that money? Right? That's all right. Now you got that in retirement. Well, you got taxes that's gonna be coming out of that. You gotta live off that for the rest of your life. You know one day you're gonna die? Oh, okay then, so how much you need to take out each year? How do you manage that? What if the market is down 20% and you still gotta take money out of it? How you gonna deal with that? How are you gonna adjust your lifestyle? These are the questions that aren't answered and aren't provided to us. And so it's a lot of information that is just left out because of how far behind we have been in terms of finances. And so for me, it's when I do have kids, and right now my nieces and nephews, I tell them like, you young, you don't have no bills. If you get $1, you need to save 50 cents minimum. Like it's no reason for you to be spending all your money. You have no bills. Like save your money. And I took out life insurance policies for them as kids, so it can grow and build wealth over time for them. And I pay that. I don't make nobody else do that. That's my responsibility, you know. So that's kind of how I look at it. You know, I look at these the royal family. Like my wife be watching a little Queen Elizabeth. It's like The Crown and the Bridgerton or some little shows on Netflix. But I'll be trying to watch it and understand like, oh, this family been having money since the 1400s.
Yeah.
How you been wealthy that long?
Bro.
Like, and if you look up things like Queen Elizabeth, when she passed away, how they passed the money down through the family to stay wealthy, like the different things they have set up with the government. They don't have to pay inheritance tax, which is 40%. They don't have to pay that. They don't pay that because they brokered a deal with the British government. Understanding the importance of protections that they have on. You can't walk into the British castle, I forget the name of it, but you can't walk into that. They got guards there.
Yeah.
Like they protecting that wealth. That wealth is, they got crown jewels, all types of stuff. And so from that perspective, protection, but then from the legal perspective of trusts and wills and life insurance and making sure that, all right, yeah, when I go, this money is gonna stay in the family and we gonna keep eating from generation to generation to generation and rinsing and repeating and rinsing and repeating. And so that's what I want for my family. And it starts with, you gotta set it up and be disciplined.
So what would, thank you for sharing that. So if you're helping somebody, or somebody's listening in, right, and they wanted to, like, they're like, oh, I like what he's talking about, I love he's saying he's practicing what he's preaching, but how do I get started? So what advice would you recommend them in terms of vetting out somebody that does insurance or talking to a financial advisor? What were some questions you want people to ask their potential financial advisor when looking to go that route?
Yeah, it's like I said, keep it simple. It'd be the same if, you go into a barber, bro, get me right. That person should be able to explain to you in detail everything. Because what I find is I meet people, and if they do have a life insurance policy, they don't know nothing about it. They don't know how it operates. They don't know how it works. They don't know if it's good, if it's bad. And I can see right away, like, this is a bad deal that you got in right here, bro. So we're gonna try and help you, but so you need to ask as many questions as you can to feel comfortable with what's going on. You have to, like when I use that car example, the person is the one driving. I'm just a GPS. I can guide you, but you got to take responsibility. Because I can say any and everything to you and say, this is what we need to do. But if you don't take a level of accountability and responsibility, it's a partnership. So you're not filling out the paperwork. You showing up to the meetings. You're not really paying attention. You're not taking no notes. And you don't have to know everything I know. I'm gonna take care of that, but it's my job to explain to you, because you have a responsibility to the people that you love and care about to at least explain, well, okay, we going to meet such and such. You tell her to see your wife, well, she's like, why, who is that? Why we doing that? I don't really know. He said we need to do this. Now he controlling me. Like that's how people can get caught up. Same with, if they can, it's the same, like, if they feed you, they can starve you, right? So what I would tell people is, you don't gotta know everything, but you wanna know enough to be dangerous. And what you don't know, ask, humble yourself, ask as many questions as you can and want. Well, what are your expectations for me? Have expectations for that person that you're talking to. Ask them questions about their company. What's their philosophy? What's the financial backgrounds of their company? How do they get paid? That's a common one. How do you get paid? What is your incentive? Are you working for me? Are we working together? How does this work? What does this look like? What is the process? What does that process look like? All of those different, the more questions you can ask, the better. It's like with anything, like you're making an investment into someone and handing over your finances to them and saying, do what's right for me. But you need to understand what's going on too, because you can get played out here, man. That's unfortunate, but it happens and it's common, and unfortunately, that's what deters a lot of people from seeking out professional guidance, because they feel like it's a scam or you're trying to sell them something, and there's so many emotions behind it. So they don't know where to start, but they know, like, they're just on guard about it. And so find someone that's genuine, that you care about, that you can build a relationship with. I would say that you can trust. That's the number one thing. We in the trust business. If I can't trust you, you don't have my best interest, then how can we work together?
That's real.
I agree.
That's real. You got something you want to add to that?
No.
So I got another question for that. When you, let me stay on the family real quick. What is your favorite family memory of all time?
Probably I used to just kick it with my grandma, man. She was my great grandma. She was my best friend growing up, right? she'd just be sitting looking out the window, and we'd be just talking. She liked to play bingo. We play bingo together a lot. The best times was being homesick from school. Like most people, kids be homesick, you know. You have a little sick on you, you know. You don't gotta go to school. You don't want to be too sick where you can't do nothing, but just sick enough where you can't go to school. My grandma would go to work. My great grandma, she was retired, right? She was just at the crib with me, so I'd be sick. I'd wake up, some good soup waiting on me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta do nothing. It's some good soup waiting on me, nice and hot for me, a little juice or something. She taking care of me all day, man, and we would just be talking, hanging out. She teach me how to play spades, you know. It just makes some good food. We have good conversation. I ain't want the day to end, man. I just enjoying her company. So, and she was just giving me game, you know, little lessons, but things that I needed to hear and encouragement. And I would say the best thing that came from that was, that's my grandma's taught me was to not judge nobody. Like, anytime I told them something, you know, you're a kid, it's hard kind of initially to be vulnerable, but whenever I spoke and told them something, they never once brought it back up again in a negative light, used it against me. They never once judged me. It was like, okay, this is what I believe, this is right, this is wrong, but it was no judgment. It was just out of love, and man, that was a blessing to me. But yeah, it just good times. I just think about my grandma's, and it's good times. Yeah.
I love that. Man, cuz you wanna wrap this thing up? How you feeling? You got some other questions? How you feeling?
Nah, man, I was gonna add about that grandmas, man.
Oh, please.
Great grandmas, ain't nothing like grandmas and great grandmas, man.
Undefeated.
Shout out to my grandmas, shout out to my nene too, you know. So man, I learned a lot sitting next to my great grandma before she transitioned. I learned a lot with my grandma too. That's where I get 99.9 of my sayings from. But you know, I learned a lot talking from my great grandma, and I remember my great grandma. She used to tell me stories about her being on the farm and being in Mississippi and all of that, man. So I just learned so much. I was just sitting there agreeing with you though, but we can end it though.
I wanted to ask you that. Where in Mississippi are your people from?
So Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Okay. Is that like north or south?
Man, I wish I could tell you. I feel like it's more close to the center, but I may be off. I'm not sure.
'Cause I have family that lives in Mendenhall, Mississippi, and then my great grandfather and his great grandfather is from Mississippi, or somewhere in that area, in the region. So yeah, I don't know. We might be distant cousins, brother. I don't know.
Man, you
never
never
know.
You never know.
We melanated
Absolutely.
folks, we together.
Could I ask y'all something real quick?
Please, yeah, bro, show.
Yeah,
Interview us. What's up?
You talk about your grandmas, man. Like, Sean, I know you lost your father. Yeah, both of my grandmas, I lost both of them. You know, and so that was.
Yeah, I lost all my grandmas.
Yeah, that was tough for me, bro. Like, I mean, my great grandma, she was 89 when she passed. That was back in 2014, and I watched that. I was at home. She passed away at home in her bed. My grandma, she was 67. She had ovarian cancer, and we found out. Man, that's probably one of the greatest days of my life. I had graduated college, and she was there, and because of everything that happened, man, it was just the best day for her. You know, she was just the happiest I ever seen, and she was so proud of me to walk across the stage. But man, like 2 weeks later, we found out she had cancer, and she fought it for 3 years. She passed in 2021, and yeah, that was tough. It's still tough.
Yeah,
it's still tough. It's hard to talk about, to be honest. But so I just want to ask y'all, how do y'all deal with that? You know, losing loved ones that are close to you, and because I've struggled with that, man. To be honest, this past year, I've just been kind of coasting, existing in life. I feel like I don't know if I've really been living fully, which sounds crazy to be married and happy, but learning how to deal with the grief of losing my grandma, especially the one that was 67, because I just never expected. You expect people to live to be 100 something. You know, you just don't want to lose them.
That's how I felt about my grandpa Tip. I thought Tip would be 200, man, I thought Tip would never die, man, because he was the life of the party, bro. So, man, to be honest, I think
that's my uncle.
Yeah, that's his
grandfather.
uncle. That's his uncle.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he he was life of the party, man. But I ain't gonna lie, man. On my behalf, I cry every day over Tip. However, I lived through Tip. You know what I mean? I go back how our ancestors did, man. To believe it or not, bro, you closer than you and your grandma ever been. I ain't trying to tell you nothing about your religion or nothing, none of that. I'm trying to step to the toes, but I'm just being 100. Whether you know it or not, you the closest with your grandma you ever been, because she with you through her DNA, and she with you spiritually, bro. Y'all tied, bro. Y'all tied. So I feel like every time I look in the mirror, I say Tip's name. I give my ancestors grace, bro. I go say I speak highly on their name all the time. I thank them for doing things. I tell cuz all the time, man, make sure you saying your daddy name. Make sure you telling your daddy you appreciate him and all that. All day I talk to Tip. You know, if I'm starting to miss him a lot, hey Tip, come and holler at me in my dream or something. I say their names, you know, I brace them. I go pour, you know, you're supposed to go pour some rum on a tree or something that's by your close to your house. You're supposed to say their names, and you bring them gifts that they used to like her favorite candy or her favorite food or whatever her favorite was. You know what I mean? Her favorite color. Bring it to them. You talk to them, bro, and you embrace them, and they gonna come through you. Everybody worried about what's out, bro. That shit not out, bro. It's in you. Spiritual world is in you. It's already in you. You with her spiritually, bro. Your spirit with her. You, and then on top of that, you got her DNA. So it's literally in you, bro. She's in you. That's how that's how I go to time.
And with me, I've lost all three of my grandmothers. I only was able to meet. I only remember one of my great grandmothers. I don't think I ever met any of my great grandfathers. No, they all transitioned before I was born in '92.
Your grandfather?
My great grandfathers and my great grandfathers. I have one grandfather that's here with us on Earth. I mean, he just turned 91 last week.
Dang, that was quick, cuz.
Yeah.
His birthday came up quick.
Yep, 91 last week. Back in 2016, I lost my dad, Herman Butch. I lost Coach Woody, less than a month of each other in 2016. So it was like July, August, like boom, boom. And in 2019, really same month, I was my Tip, my Uncle David, and my grandmother, all in September. It was like we had that homeborn service all in that month, so y'all that was a real heavy month in 2019 for me. And I was celebrating my birthday too, so it was finding that time to be able to breathe and to express emotions, be a tear, like the sadness and the tears of joy as well, just to be able to grieve and celebrate their life. It really never goes away. To be honest, when those moments hit you, you gotta respect those moments and let it hit you. And don't attempt to suppress it and bury it on the inside. Because if you do, then that creates emotions that you don't even have to go through. That creates more generational dysfunction by just suppressing all those different things. And I had to learn that. Like you said, like I think we all said a different type of way. We're all still learning how to grieve. It's like grieving is like equivalent to healing. It never stops. You know what I mean? Because it's like the people that you lost are because that they're still in you. So like they're never truly gone. But it's like, and if we talking about like real, I can't reach out to them, give them a hug.
Can't touch them.
Like I can't touch them. I can hear them. I can feel them. I can't touch them.
Can't smell their perfume. Can't
shake up with them.
Yeah, can't hear their advice, because, man, I miss one thing I feel like I need right now, man. That's a hug from a father figure, man. And I've been wanting one for my grandpa so bad. I'll never forget that day that it was Father's Day, and I told him, I was like, nah, Grandpa, I ain't coming to you, bro. I gotta go to work. I was just messing with him. And man, I remember when he saw me, bro, I never forget that, bro. And I was thinking about that the other day, and I cried, bro. So I feel like it ain't never gonna be a day that I ain't gonna cry about Tip, man. You know, it ain't like I ain't saying I don't grieve about him. I grieve, you know, I cry, I think about him. I understand I ain't gonna have him, you know, I just try to embrace it, you know, embrace it more. Try to understand, like, man, at the end of the day, it's life. That's what he was supposed to do. That's what we gonna have to do. One day my kids gonna bury me. So it made me also, man, feel like I gotta get my kids prepared. It sounds crazy, man, but I've been when I lost Tip, that was how my brain was thinking, like, man, I gotta get my kids prepared for when I'm gone. Cause losing somebody, man, I'll never forget Cuz came through. And this one, me and Cuz weren't even talking like that in 2019. We weren't even that close yet. Now when Tip died, and I remember he was coming over there trying to hug me, and I was like, man, you trying to hug me? You know, because, you know, I never had that love from a male figure. You know, the one who I did accept it from, gone. So, you know, so, yeah, so it's like, that part I never get. So I feel like I'm always going to miss that. But at the same time, what can I do about it, bro? I gotta be better. I can't keep letting it fault me, cause shit, at the end of the day, everything died, bro. I mean, I don't want to be harsh, but shit, it's just the truth. Everything died. Everything, bro. This great marriage, me and my wife, we got the greatest marriage ever. I feel like it's gonna die one day. When me and her both leave this world, it's gone. I ain't gonna be married for 1 billion something years. I'm only gonna be married for about 80, cause I'm gonna live to be 100. It's gonna end one day. I don't know if that was harsh.
Nah, that's real.
I don't know if that was harsh.
That's real. I just wanted to ask that because it just helped me. Like, that's how I run. I ask you questions and talking.
Yeah.
Because, man, yeah, like you said, the grief for that, like for me,
Yeah.
I would, and like your book, man, like, I just want to give you props again on that because a lot of people
Make sure I
say,
go get it.
yeah,
No,
please
try to
do.
think about it more.
A lot of people say a lot of things, but to be able to do it and to have substance to it, you know, because for me, grief, I ain't want to deal with it, bro. My grandma passed away in 2021, and I ain't want to deal with it. So instead of going within, man, I was running from myself, you know, and just didn't want to deal with it, with life and reality, you know, and not in some crazy ways, just not being productive, laying around all day, just not really getting into a groove with life, not wanting to deal with things. I don't know. It's like, do all that running and sit right there, find yourself like, dang, I just gotta face it. It's no choice now. And so, yeah, I appreciate y'all sharing that because that helps me too a lot.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what Lead Your Lineage is about, bro. Like, we in previous episodes, Cousin, I talked about this. Some people, like with myself, Kobe, Teron, and Nadi, we got 4 different experiences for families. 4 completely different experiences. So for the 4 of us, family looks completely different for each one of us. So it's either like, all right, you have to lean into your the bloodline, but they're gonna be there regardless if you like them or not. Or you're gonna have to be intentional about recreating your family because your bloodline may be tainted. You gotta do the cleaning yourself within yourself. So the bloodline, when it continues, it's a whole different strand of a positive blood running through the family. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just looks different for everybody, but family is definitely the root of all positivity in my mind.
It is.
I agree.
It is the root of the tree. we be saying it's the branches, man. I think family might be the roots, bro. Yeah, man, I don't even think it's the branches now that I think about it. It's the roots, bro. It's, you don't get the branches, you don't get the tree stump, you don't get the fruit and the labor. All of that comes from family. The family is the roots, because it's the one that holds the tree together, so that tree can grow. So that tree can grow and get enough sunlight to grow and harvest and produce fruit, so it can get the photosynthesis. All of that, man.
Nah, that's an old cliche saying, find your roots, right?
Yeah.
Find your roots. And it's like when you use that tree analogy, that our ancestors are the roots we can't see.
Yeah.
Because like if we go into the ground and dig it up, we disturbing something. We disturbing the foundation of the tree and shake it up. And it's like we just gotta let that be. We gotta find a way to tap into the roots while living our life above ground.
See, you know the
And then when the leaf fall off, we're gonna go decay and treasure into the energy, and we gonna get to see the roots. That's what that just made me think about that whole evolution of life when it comes to a tree.
It is, man. The family is the roots. It's the ones that grew, so you can grow, so you can be that leaf out there getting that sunshine. Not knowing that shit, it took a bunch of digging in dirt and finding some dang water. And then, you know, on top of that, though, you know, the roots, though, a lot of people don't know this, the roots are responsible for the food. I know this because I be homeschooling, man, so I ain't going front like I'm some type of philosopher up here, man. I know this because my daughter is into plants. Yeah. She's into plants.
Yeah, shout out to Capri.
If she's into something, I mean, I got to be into it so I can teach her. And so the plants hold the vitamins, it holds the nutrition, it holds the food, and it is responsible for, like, believe it or not, like, say if the plants start dying and start browning and stuff, it sends a signal to the roots, and the roots will go find the nutrients. Either will go grow into it more, or will just take whatever it got around it and use it, bro. So the roots is really everything of the tree, man. Family, bro. That's like how it is with the Rockefellers. If you take away family from them, they ain't got no money. Individually, bro, they not that powerful. You know?
I agree.
That's very true.
So it's just like, think about it. It's if you cut off the word family, it's like cutting off the roots. That whole tree gonna go woo, boop. Money gonna go everywhere. They gonna have that money, but that money gonna go like that because everybody got their own, go on their own little flounders.
It's been a powerful episode.
It's been real powerful, man. I like this episode.
Yeah, this is dope, man. It's one of the best.
Does 4 have? That's what I was about to ask you before Cuz came in. Does 4 have any numerology to you? The number 4?
I actually we was talking about 19 Keys earlier. I watched that was one of the episodes I watched. I forget the brother, but the numerologist.
Lloyd.
Yeah. And so I know did the math. I think 7 is.
What's your life back number?
Yeah.
That's my life back number too.
Yeah, 7, and then I think 5 is my wife's is 5. But there was life path, and then what was the other one? I forget the other number, but
destiny number.
Yeah.
Life path, destiny. It's so much. I have this app on my phone too. Actually, I can pull it up. We can check it out after we get done recording.
Yeah.
I might have all that on my phone.
But I don't know.
I was just asking.
Well, you do have 4 siblings. Well, 4 is 4 of y'all.
Yeah.
Total.
Yeah.
So you got more than 4 siblings, like that core of 4.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you being the 4th one, man. And
Well, hold on. Let me tell you back. So it's you, the twins, your sister, on your mom's side, on your dad's side, he has 2 children. So you do have 4 siblings. So
Damn.
That might be it. Yeah. Well, hold on. My math right? Yeah, my math right.
My sister, my twins,
Yeah.
5.
Oh, it's 5. Okay, I'll get my math wrong. Edit that out.
That's good.
I don't edit nothing out. It be straight raw. It be straight
But
raw.
that 5 is his wife's iPad number. Though.
Yeah.
So it's significant.
That's a lot of 5. Yeah, that 5 is came in play in my life a lot too. I'm always looking for the numbers and things too, man.
That's why I had to ask.
Yeah. I do the math all the time. Even my alarms when I wake up, like I wake up at 6:04. That's a 1, so I'm starting my day, right?
Yeah.
Or just little stuff like that where I wake up on a time that's 7. I wake up at 7 o'clock or whatever. I make it add up to 7 or 14. So yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm about to start doing that. Yeah.
My day go better, bro.
Dude, boy, you the king of that, bro. That is Joe. That's how you should start all your videos. You go looking at it. No, he always do that. That's your every time. Ding.
My number, my word for this year has been 7. So the majority of the stuff I've done this year, I've been moving on 7. Like when I had my book launch, that day equals 7. When I had to get a new car, I had to sit down and reflect. And my dad got me that car 7 years ago before he transitioned. So I was able to be at peace with letting the car go. So it's like, okay, I can put the money into the car or my old car, or I can put the money into the new car. So I'm like, new car, because I was able to sit down and had an internal moment. It's like probably 10 other examples, but those are like the main 2 for real. That really like impacted that 7. And a word one for 2024 is relationships. So that's what I'm real heavy on now. So that's powerful though. And
Look at that.
absolutely. You might be onto something, cuz. I'm gonna look
I
at
got
that.
you, cuz. I got you.
I got you too.
Y'all gonna have to put a compilation together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to put it with a compilation all the times you did it.
Look at like damn, cuz.
Yeah, man, but as we close out, Thomas, man, please leave the people with a word of wisdom for the families out
Yeah,
there.
so also leave where they can contact you. Any Instagrams, any Facebook, or any of that too.
All right, yeah. So contact on Facebook, Instagram is just Thomas L. Coleman. Real simple, you know. And then you said a word of advice
For families out here, for families that are in their generational dysfunction, what would you advise them to do based on your experience?
Based on my experience, I would just say, get the help you need. Don't be afraid to ask for help, to humble yourself, and know that be okay knowing that you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. To accept yourself for where you at and who you are, and build off of that, because you know, a lot of old sayings of what my grandma like right now ain't always, and so
I know she was old.
Man,
My grandma be dead.
I got old, but man, from the terminology from the South too, bro.
Yeah.
Catty corner, you know what I'm saying? The commode, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. I used to get pound cakes on my birthday. That's all that. But yeah, I would just say that, man. Just it's okay to be where you at. Just know you're not stuck there, and if you're willing to put in the work, there's I go to bed every night. I think I watch this video. It's a little clip. Mike Tomlin. I really like Mike Tomlin and his leadership, and he says there's a lot of people out here that are capable, but there are fewer that are willing. And just be willing to do the work, and that applies to all aspects of life. If you're willing to do the work and put in the work, be dedicated to it, no matter what, you're gonna succeed eventually. So, yeah, whatever that means to you, whether it's therapy or, you know, whether it's journaling or whether it's just talking to friends, having conversations like these, I would encourage anyone out there to do that and be okay with that.
I love that, man.
Me too.
Appreciate you, Thomas, for stopping by
Appreciate
to
you,
the
brother.
studio, man.
Nice
chopping
meeting
up
you
with
too,
his brother.
man. For real.
Man, it's been a
you
phenomenal
know.
episode.
Yeah, I know. For real. Feel like we've been right here. Feel like we've been a little year right
That's how
here.
it's been with all our interviews.
Yeah.
Man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody I know that he doesn't know, or vice versa. Like, it's always been like a family vibe. Like we get a new family member every time we do interviews. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But family, we appreciate y'all for tuning in
Peace out, y'all,
to another
man.
episode of the Lead Your Lineage podcast. And as we always love to say, lead yourself so you can lead your lineage.
Shout out to my wife.
Until next time.
Have that plate up. Get that plate ready.
Praise God.
Have that plate hot. If that plate ain't hot, hey, I'm editing this out. I'm editing this out.